as I promised last week, inshallah, this week we will be discussing circle of justice. And it is sometimes called, actually, Ibn Khaldun called it Dairatu Siyase, yani circle of Siyase. But when you translate Siyase as politics, the meaning completely lost. Because politics is very different than Siyase in Arabic, and also what Ibn Khaldun means by Siyase. So we need to be careful about this. So here you have a picture. This is taken from Ibn Khaldun's book. This is taken from Ibn Khaldun's book, and I will, inshallah, explain that when we will discuss this. And in Istanbul, when I was director of Ibn Khaldun University, I had it painted on the plate by some artist ladies in the city of Izmir, Nicaea. It's a very famous city where they reduced the number of Bibles from 500 to 4. It was the, like the Vatican in Anatolia, but the Turks came, conquered, and made it an Islamic city at the moment. And I strongly recommend that you go and visit that city in case you go to Istanbul. It's only 1 hour from Istanbul. It's a very beautiful city. So those artists, they put it on this plate. So you see in Khaldun, here also you see Dairatu Siyase and Dairatu Siyase for Ibn Khaldun. So this is our topic today. So first, let's read it. Let's read what's there. You have the Arabic here and the translation of it in English. So Ibn Khaldun said, "Al-Alamu Bustanu Siyatu al-Dawla." Yani, Al-Alam means society. So society is like a garden. And the Dawla is its wall. Dawla sets the territory around it. And the wall stands for like protecting something, like a wall marks the borders, plus protects what's inside, right? Okay, so سياج معناه الحاجب الجدار سياجه الدولة. But then what's الدولة? So the next, here you can follow it from here. So the الدولة سلطان تحيا به السنة. So state is power, state is authority, and the sunnah survives with the state. Sunnah survives with the state. So sunnah has like several meanings. One, like broadly, it may be translated as culture, tradition, or adat. And another meaning, laws. Because laws is sunnah. Because laws, you can't invent laws. Laws are inherited, just like language. Language is inherited, and the laws are also inherited. Laws are grammar of social relations. Language has a grammar, relations of words, like how they are related to each other, how they are formed together, and the laws also the grammar of social relations, how people are related to each other, how they make up a small group, big group, ashira, qabila, hakaza. So it's about their relations. And also sunnah, as you know, sunnah Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Okay, so sunnah Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam تحيا بالدولة. لو الدولة غير موجودة سنة النبي تموت. لماذا؟ لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يكن رجل يعني لم يكن رهبان. يعني he was not a monk, living in the monastery by himself alone. He was a ruler. He was a statesman. So his sunnah is individual and institutional. He left institutional sunnah also, like how you rule a society, how you govern a society, and these kind of institutional sunnahs about good governance, managing a society, managing economy, politics, can survive only if there is dawla. If there is no dawla, then all these sunnahs will disappear and they will be forgotten. Only the individual sunnahs can survive. Or the sunnahs about the family, they can survive. But the sunnah, the macro sunnah about the macro management of the society, they will all disappear and be forgotten. So it's very interesting perspective. Okay, then what's the sunnah? السنة سياسة يسوسها الملك or الملك. You can read both ways. So السنة سياسة. So you see the meaning of سياسة. So here, سياسة here means social system, good governance, social system. That's the sunnah. And who implements governance, who's in charge of governance? Al-Malik or Al-Mulk. So if you say Al-Malik, that means head of the state. Head of the state, the ruler, implements as-sunan as-siyasiyya. So the Malik is in charge of making sure the sunnah is implemented, and he has the power to implement it at the institutional level. But every individual has the power about her or his personal life. They can practice in their own life. But when it comes to practicing it at the institutional level, dawla, malik, or mulk. If you say mulk, that means institution. But if you say malik, that means individual. And in sociology and political science, not that debate. Which one is more important, the individual or the institution? So some people say institution is very important, but then this brings to the question: what's an institution? So it's a long debate, but the text allows reading both ways. You can use Yesusuha al-Malik, then you are giving priority to the individual, or you can say Yesusuha al-Mulk, then the state as an institution implements this. So it allows both ways. And then what is al-Malik or what is al-Mulk? Then comes the definition of it. So al-Mulku ra'in or al-Maliku ra'in. So the state is protector. The state is protector. Ra'i, ri'aya. So ri'aya, khilafa, qawama, these are synonymous or closely related words. So kullukum ra'in. وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, so رعاية. And also the head of the state is Khalifa, Khalifa Rasulillah. So and every human being is Khalifa of Allah. So Khalifa, as you know, means someone يعني هو يتولى الأمور. يعني so خلافة, and also الرجال قوامون على النساء قوامة. So these are the concepts, but so the relationship between the ruler and the ruled is the relationship of ri'ayah, protecting, guarding, supporting, taking care of it. So the state is caretaker, caretaker of society, or the king, or the ruler. We should not translate king because it has a bad connotation. We should translate as ruler. Because if you, and actually Ibn Khaldun, when he says al-Malik, does not mean king. He means the ruler, head of the state. So we have to be careful, very careful. And when he says mulk, he means the state. He means the authority. He does not mean kingdom. Because it may take different shapes, different forms. He's talking about authority. And when he says there's a need for mulk, he doesn't mean that there's a need for king. He means there's a need for an authority to take care of the of society and to maintain ta'awun, solidarity, division of labor in society. So al-mulku or al-maliku ra'in. So this relationship is the relation of ri'ayah, not hegemony, not domination, not exploitation, but ri'ayah. So this was very important. But how is he going to do it? Can he do it himself alone? No. يَعُدُّهُ الْجَيْشِ. He is supported by al-jaysh, army. So he needs an army to support him, to take care of society's needs, so to be able to fulfill a ri'ayah. But the jaysh here does not only mean security forces, because in the past, jaysh meant the whole bureaucracy, the employees of the state in general. Like askeriya includes everyone who's employed by the state. Even in the Ottoman Empire, there was askeriya and ilmiya. Askeriya, anybody who's working for the state, they were askeriya class. They are called askeriya class. And then the ilmiya, they are independent of the state. They had autonomy from the state. They were called ilmiya. And every madrasa graduate had to choose one of the two career tracks, either askeriya or ilmiya. If you choose askeriya, then either you go to the army or you go to bureaucracy. So they had sayfiya, and kalamiya. Sayfiya is the army, security forces, and the kalamiya, bureaucracy. Because one is using sayf, the other is using kalam. And then you have the ilmiya on the other hand. So jaysh here doesn't mean only the security forces. And the rise of like a modern army is something new, like a completely specialized in security, in protection. It's a new phenomenon. In the past, employees of the state, they did everything. Okay, so the state is supported by the nations like bureaucracy and the army and the employees of the state. So what's al-jaysh? What's al-jaysh? And then al-jaysh a'wan. So jaysh is a group of people, a'wan. A'wan, a community of people, a group of people, so how, and Awan also has the meaning of people like you pay for them, you take care of. يعني أعوان يعني أنت تعاونهم يعني يستعينون منك يعتمدون عليك. So الجيش أعوانا يكفلهم المال. Economy supports them. And economy supports the employees of the state. Economy supports the army, security forces, and the bureaucracy. They get their income from economy, from al-mal, يفرغهم al-mal, from the state treasury. But then what's economy? What's al-mal? Al-mal rizqun. Al-mal, this economy, this treasury wealth is risk. It's given by Allah Ta'ala. It's risk. And then, but who collects wealth? Who produces wealth? He answers this. تجمعه الرعية. الرعية, the citizenry, collects the wealth. They collect money through taxes and production and other activities. So the citizenry, in Arabic, they are called الرعية. الرعية. So the king or the ruler is الراعي, and then people, they are رعية. So people who are taken care of, people who are protected, people who are guarded. That's the meaning of it. So الرعية, the citizenry, the people who are living in a state, they produce. But this work is risk from Allah Ta'ala. And there are many diverse ways Allah gives risk to people through unexpected ways. And then what's الرعية? الرعية عبيد. I mean, we can follow from here also. الرعية عبيد. الرعية, the citizenry, they are subjects. They are subjects of the state. They are subjects of the state. They are servants of the state. But what makes them subject to the state? What makes them servants of the state? What makes them abid to the state? يتعبدهم العدل. Justice makes them loyal to the state. Justice makes them voluntarily accept to be subjects of the state. Because they see justice, then they say, okay, this is a good state. We are ruled with justice, so let's serve this state. Let's accept orders coming from that state. Let's pay taxes to this state. So يتعبدهم العدل. Justice makes them volunteer or happily accept the authority of the state and serving to it. So the adl is the social legitimacy of the power of the state. Legitimacy means how can people accept with happiness the authority of the state? What makes them voluntarily and happily accept an authority about themselves? Because usually human beings don't accept any authority about themselves. But what makes them accept an authority about themselves? So that's an adl, justice. And actually our ulama says that a system may continue with kufr, infidelity, the absence of a true religion, but it can never continue with injustice. يدوم بالكفر ولا يدوم بالظلم. Because if there is no justice, then it will collapse. But people may have a wrong religion. They may be religiously very corrupt people. Maybe they are like worshipping idols, shirk, etc. But there is justice. But of course, perfect justice can be achieved only by a sunnah, by Islam, by following the Sharia. That's the perfect justice. But people may achieve minimum level of justice, which is enough to run the society by using their minds, or by what they received, from their religion. So it might be enough for them to achieve minimum level of justice, which is enough to run the society. But the perfect level of justice can be achieved only by following Allah Ta'ala's religion and the Sharia He's given to us. So that's why it's called the Da'iratul Adalah by some people. Da'iratul Adalah. So Al-Adalah is the outcome of this system. Al-Adalah is the outcome of this system, but Siyasa is the process of that system. So what's the purpose of Siyasa? Is to produce justice and adl. That's the outcome. So those people who call it Da'iratul Adalah, they are referring to the outcome of the system. But those who call it Da'iratul Siyasa, they are referring to the process. So Siyasa is the process through which justice is produced. So what's al-adl? Al-adl ma'lufun. Justice is loved by everyone. Everyone, by nature, people love justice. Ma'luf. They want justice. Justice is very attractive and appealing to everybody. There is nobody who says, I hate justice. So justice is the key word, both in the West, in Islam, in the East, everywhere. Justice is the key word. But in the West, during the period of modernization, freedom gained superiority over justice. So freedom became the most fundamental concept in European or Western political thought. But before that, it was justice. But still, justice is very important. Although freedoms are given more priority and more importance, but justice still very important in the Western system also. But the legitimacy in the Western political system comes from the process, like democracy. It's a process. But in Islam, it comes from the natija, the outcome, adl. If adl is produced, then the system is legitimate. But in the West, if there are elections, then the system has legitimacy. But what's the outcome of the system? Sometimes you have elections, but then you have very corrupt government at the end, and the country is declining. But because there is election, tamam this legitimate system. So these things change, from culture to culture, from age to age, from society to society. But everyone wants justice. Everywhere, east, west, past, present. Always justice is very important. And Ibn Khaldun says, "Wabihi qawamul alam." So the survival of society depends on justice. وَبِهِ قَوَامُ الْعَالَمِ. So if there is no justice, it will collapse. So today we talk about sustainability, right? So sustainability depends on justice. System of economy, system of politics, sustainability of education. Like everything depends on justice, al-adl. But adl is a very general concept. How do we define al-adl? What's al-adl? Anyone? Yes.
إعطاء كل ذي حق حقه.
أيوة، إعطاء كل ذي حق حقه ووضع كل شيء في مكانه. وضع كل شيء في مكانه. So this is very general. So like environment, let's say, today big problem, right? sustaining of the environment. So I mean, environment cannot be sustained, you know, without adil. You have to be just to environment. But يعني وضع الشيء في مكانه. So put water in its place, trees in their place, like all the natural resources in their place. So today we do injustice to the natural world, and that's why the whole world came to the verge of collapsing and extinguishing. But the world, the globe has been there for like millions of years, nothing happened. But this materialist capitalist perspective, in 1 or 2 centuries, corrupted everything and destroyed everything, disrupted the natural process of recycling, and brought the world to the edge of completely diminishing. Subhanallah. No, because there's no adl in our relationship with nature. Same way, there's no adl in our relationship with each other, with our own selves. There's adl with Allah. In the shirk لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. Why? Because you are not giving haqq of Allah to Allah. It's حقوق الله. حقه أن يعبد، حقه أن يطاع، حقه أن يوحد بالإخلاص. So I had difficulty, like how can one make zulm to Allah? Allah is so powerful. How can I make zulm to Allah? But you are taking His right. Like His right is to be ilah, is to be Rabb, is to be worshipped, is to be obeyed, right? So you say, okay, I'm not giving your rights to you. It's similar to like there's somebody who deserves to be respected. Let's say your father, you have to respect him, you have to treat him nicely, you have to be kind to him, but you are insulting him, you are not nice to him, you are not paying his due. So this is zulm to him. The same way, like a shirk. So let's say your home belongs to you, but then you come say no, we divide your home, and you have to share it with 3 other people. So basically you are dividing the right of a person over his property, right? So the same thing with Allah Ta'ala, shirk. This is zulm. So al-adl in our relationship with Allah Ta'ala, and then our al-adl with our own selves. The Rasulullah said, وَلِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٌّ يَعْتَاهُ كُلُّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ نَفْسُكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٌّ. So الظلم على النفس أيضا نفس الشيء. الواحد لا يعطي حق نفسه إلى نفسه، يحرم نفسه من حقوق نفسه. So this also الظلم هكذا. So al-adl is a very cosmic, very universal concept, but the most manifestation of it is at the level of social relations, in transactions, social relations in business, in family, also in the relationship between the ruler and the ruled. Application of laws to everybody equally, rule of law. So a society survives with these things. And I have a problem with this concept of sustainability today. They want to sustain the corrupt system they established. Instead of sustaining, we should change it, right? It's already a corrupt system based on this materialist capitalist understanding, based on zulm. But they want to maintain their hegemony. That's why they say, sustain our system. Sustain our system. No, we don't want to sustain your system. We want to change it and come up with a better system. This is what we should say. Because you already destroyed the whole world. You already disrupted the natural circulation and recycling in the nature. So why should we sustain your system? You have to change it and based on عدل. Okay, so العدل مألوف فبه قوام العالم. So that's the key. That's why the whole thing is called direct adala. And then al-alam, what's a society? Again, connected here. Al-alam bustan siyaju al-dawla. It goes like this. So you see that there are 8 elements here. There are 8 elements, and they are all connected to each other, like bunyan marsus. They are all connected to each other. But the most important thing, the most important message is not written. What is that? About state, about the state system. The most important idea is not in writing. It is symbolically expressed. Who has an idea? Actually, it is in the subtitle. You can get a hint from the subtitle. What is the state? Pyramid or circle? Pyramid or circle? Yes. Yes, but you didn't catch it.
The society is more important than an individual.
No, that's not the correct answer. Yes.
Circularity of the society and the
Yes,
movement.
circularity. So like I make an exercise, with my students. I ask them, draw image of state in your mind. Maybe you should do it here. Draw the image of state in your mind. And most of them draws pyramids. And actually, if you go to Google, say image of state, click on images, you get pyramid. At the top, the ruler. In the bottom, the citizens. Okay? But here, where is the ruler? Where is the citizenry? In the circle. Is it like this? Is it like pyramid?
No.
No. So what does this symbolize?
Equality.
Yes, equality. So the ra'iyya is as important as the ruler. The people as important as al-jaysh. Economy as important as politics. See what I mean? Because when you are around the round table, there is no leader. Or I should not say there is no leader. There isn't somebody who's superior over others. Sometimes you have round table meeting. That means we are all equals, and everybody's idea is equally important. But if you want hierarchy, you have a rectangular table with a big chair on the end of the table. This guy is the top guy. He has power to make the decisions, right? So basically, Ibn Khaldun is saying that our political system, our siyasa, is not pyramidal. So there's equality, and also there's participation. It is circular. This is the secret. You see, but it's not written. You have to extrapolate it from the tasmin, from the design. That's why art department is very important at HBKU CIS. We have the art department. Yes, you want to say something?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I agree with
Okay, so circle is considered the perfect shape in philosophy. Why? Because there is no end in the circle. There is no end in the circle, and also in the circle there is this equality of all the elements. So there are 8 elements, all of them are equally important. So what's at the center? ما في شيء. No center. See what I mean? Like usually when they draw an organization chart, they put either they make a pyramid. At the top is the ruler, or they put something at the center. But here there's no center. And they did not put the ruler at the center. See what I mean? It's a very unique design, but it's implicitly communicated. It's implicitly communicated, so nothing at the center. All of them are centers. All of them, because all of them are equally important. So there's another secret. It's not written there. That's why you have to come to my class to get these secrets. If you read it by yourself, you will never be able to get it. Okay, so there's another secret. Yes?
So if you're saying, so there's no, and so that means there's no starting point as well?
Yeah, no starting point. Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can start from any point. And another secret here, why 8? Why 8? Is there anyone who can read me the verse in the Quran where the number 8 is mentioned? أيوة. Say it again. يومئذ يحمل عرش ربك 8. So 8 angels carries the throne of Allah Ta'ala on that day. So number 8. So the mundane order is symmetrically constructed with the heavenly order. These are the 8 pillars of the social system here. See what I mean? So that's the symbolism. Yes.
I just want to mention that in the Islamic art principles, the most basic elements is, as you mentioned, continuity. So the drawing would start and never ends. All the lines are connected. Centrality to Allah. So there is a center in Islamic art, but it's empty, which refers to that we all are centered to Allah. And then infinity. So
I'm sorry?
Infinity.
Infinity, yes.
All Islamic patterns can extend to infinity.
Yes.
So this reflects the world that we live in.
Yes. And also, what's the symbolism of number 8 in Islamic art?
There is a focus on the number 7 and 6. But 8, this is the first time I'm hearing.
Oh, really? Yeah. 8 represents paradise. Because paradise has 8 gates. See what I mean? So, like the throne of Allah Ta'ala is carried by 8 angels, and paradise has 8 gates. So basically, it's saying, if we establish this, then we establish paradise on the face of earth. These are all like symbolic meanings, included, and they are not in the writing. So let me mention that Ibn Khaldun mentions that this idea of these elements, equally being important and supporting each other, this existed in Persia, in ancient Persia, and also in ancient Greece. So he says, we benefited from their ideas, but he said, but we improved it. And he mentions that في كتاب المنسوب لأرسطو. So there is a book attributed to Aristotle, but it's not really sure whether it's really to him or not, because there are many books people wrote and attributed to big scholars to make their books important. like a hadith mawdu' يعني kitab mawdu'. So he doesn't say this book is for Aristotle. يعني لا يقول في الكتاب لأرسطو، يقول في الكتاب المنسوب لأرسطو. So maybe for him, maybe for not him. So this shows again that Islam is an open civilization, and Muslims inherited the legacy of all previous civilizations and improved it and built upon it. So Muslim scholars, they have not seen any problem in benefiting from the ancient civilizations, as long as they are compatible with the Islamic view of it, and they didn't have any complex to hide it. They are so open. He's saying, okay, in Persia it existed, in Greece it existed, and we benefited from them. Actually, it's very interesting when you read those books about siyasa, like Nasihatul Muluk or Siyasa al-Shar'iyya. They present some of the Persian kings and wuzara as ideal rulers, and also some Greek rulers like Iskandar. They don't say, oh, he was a polytheist, the other one was Zoroastrian, etc. So they are presented as ideal role models, for Muslims. So they have no problem. This comes from open civilization, but they never say, okay, let's adopt Aristotle as our political thinker and follow Aristotle, or let's adopt Anushirwan and become Anushirwanist, so they benefit from their ideas and use them as materials in structure. In the structure, a good example for this is the architecture of Süleymaniye Mosque in Istanbul. It has 4 pillars, and each pillar was brought from a different civilization. One from Egypt, the other from Lebanon, there's the one civilization was there in Syria, and then the other from Roman, from other, just to symbolize, we inherit your legacy and we build upon it. This was the idea behind this, and he says, those people, they did good job, but they neglected, some of the things, and he says that we brought it to a better and higher level, so acknowledging, this, but then I would like to conclude by saying that the idea of a circular administrative system or governance, and the practical system of governance, they were in rivalry, they were in competition from ancient times. So some people defended this pyramid style, centered and class system of governance, and we conclude from these, like people like Anushirwan and Aristotle, they were defending the circular, more egalitarian system. And today, I propose that based on this Khaldunian perspective, which has its roots in ancient civilizations, we should come up with a new management system, circular management system in our companies, in our societies, in our states, a circular management system, which is Islamic, Islamic public management. But unfortunately, in the process of modernization and westernization, we adopted pyramid-like governance, pyramid-like management in our companies, in our societies, etc. But it doesn't really match, with our cultural values, because You know, we go to Salat, we are all together. You know, we pray like the highest person prays with the lowest person. They go together to sajda. So that's the circular governance system. But in the pyramid-like system, you know, like the people at the middle class or the lower class, they never get to see the top guy. They are completely like, isolated and separated from each other. So I believe, you know, we need to kind of, you know, develop a management system for our companies, in particular for our companies, for our associations, even for our like colleges, universities, a circular management system. And I have like some students and people, they are working on it, I'm encouraging, but it is a paradigm shift. So we need more Khaldunians, you know, to commit themselves, but we need like you know, come up with new ideas. And I believe, you know, this kind of system will be very good for the whole world. Like if we can come up with such a, you know, governance system and offer it to the whole world, you know, it will be very good for Muslims and non-Muslims. You know, yeah, non-Muslims can also take it and implement it. You know, the circular governance, the circular management system, inshallah. So I'd like to stop here. If you have any questions, any comments, I would like to, yes, please.
Thank you very much for this. I like the idea of the image of the circle, very nice.
Yes.
But this quote was quoted exactly from a book by Aristotle and Sharian on this. And it contains some very dangerous concepts that are totally un-Islamic. For example, الرعية عبيد. This is totally un-Islamic. متى استعبدتم الناس وقد. This, just because the circle is beautiful, should not allow us to use this beautiful concept to ندرس السم في العسل, as we say, you know, to take this beautiful thing and import from Anusharwan a very evil concept, which is al-ubudiyat al-ma'iyah. I have 2 points only.
Yes.
This is point number 1. Okay? So point number 1 is this text, these words are not from Muslim source. I agree with you about the open civilization and benefiting from others as, you know, like inspired by them, but this is not there. This is actually quoting verbatim from them, which includes concepts that are contradictory to Islamic thinking. So this is unacceptable to someone like me. You guys are very intelligent, but I'm a very simple person. So for me, I find this very disturbing. This is we are attributing this to Ibn Khaldun. This is actually not Ibn Khaldun's words. This is the words of Aristotle and Sharwan, and they are our enemies. Not enemies. I mean like the Prophet ﷺ, when he came and he corrected the mistakes of even the Jews and the Christians. You know, the people that distorted the purity of the message of God.
Okay.
So we are saying, let's ignore what the Prophet gave us and let's go back to Anusharwan. This is my
complete misunderstanding and misinterpreting, because as I said, he doesn't say let's take everything Anusharwan made, let's become Anusharwanist, or let's become Aristotelianist. No, if somebody said something good, you be accepted. And also the word abid does not mean slave. So you have to define concepts the way they are used. Actually, this is completely against the idea of enslaving the citizens. Interpretation, saying that he's advocating enslaving people would be complete opposite of what he's trying to do. He's trying to do just opposite of elevating the citizenry to a level equal with the rulers, with everybody. So this is what he's mentioning, so yet عبدهم العدل, so if he's like defending the slavery system, he would accept pyramids and no adil. See what I mean? So just he's advocating just the opposite of it, and also like have insaf little bit, like is it Ibn Khaldun is like less Muslim than us, and and all the people like who followed Ibn Khaldun's legacy, they misunderstood him. So he doesn't mean what you understood. He's not like after.
Ibn Khaldun is very honest. He's saying this is coming from Aristotle. It's not me. He's honest.
But actually, it is not true because Aristotle doesn't have this.
Okay.
He's reporting these things, but if you make a research about the books of Aristotle that we have today, these citations, you don't find them there, except in the apocryphal books attributed to Aristotle. So it's a different issue. It's a debatable issue.
Fine, Professor. My second point is about the concept of justice you mentioned during this. I agree with the concept of justice. The problem with justice implementation is that if you don't have a free society, if you have people who are slaves, and everybody is looking at outcome, right? There is no process. We are not focusing on the process. We are focusing on the outcome. Who will challenge?
Why do you ask this question?
No, because if we are saying that the problem right now is that people are focusing on the process, right? The process is
no, but
the way.
I said, siyasa is the process. Adale is the outcome. So depending on like which one you want to give priority, either you call it daira to siyasa or you call it daira to adl.
I just wanted to make this point. I mean, you understand exactly what I mean. Many people even use Sharia, they use Islam to justify the dictatorships and injustices and things like that, right? So unless you have a process by means people are able to challenge, right, freely and say their opinion about things. The idea is that the process is very important to check whether the outcome, whether justice has been achieved or not. If we just say we don't care about the process, we only care about
no. Who says we don't care about the process? Like the whole thing, is to make sure there is justice, there is equality. It would be like a completely opposite understanding of what he's trying to explain to us.
Okay,
yes. Anyone else? Yes, please.
So Professor, to link last week's seminar with this week's seminar. So last week I remember
Actually, I have to be there somewhere at 7. Please be quick.
Okay, so last week you presented Ibn Khaldun's idea that he believed you can have a functioning society without divine intervention. So you can have a leader who leads a society without divine intervention in small society. So I was curious then to know what would Ibn Khaldun define for a functioning society? Is it a fluid process?
Yeah, according to if you have this system, it's a functional society according to Ibn Khaldun. Yes, please, quick.
I just want to say that the point being raised, Ibn Khaldun already laid the foundation before bringing forth what was affiliated to Aristotle. He said, وفي الكتاب المنسوب لأرسطو في السياسة بالتداول بين الناس جزء صالح منه إلا أنه غير مستوفي ولا مؤطن حقه من البراهين ومختلف لغيره.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry I have to leave because I have to be somewhere at 7. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah keep you all in good health. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.